Good morning, guys. Today is Wednesday, December 8th, 2021. And I'm coming in today to talk about, we are in Gateway 6, which is sacred healing. Okay. So we're like halfway through this gateway because we do one gateway per week. And I'm coming in because I feel like, one, I haven't come in for a while and shared any updates, just, life going on over here. So what do I want to share that has been going on? So I don't think I came in here and talked about sacred space. If I did, I forgot that I did. But sacred space was really transformational for me in a lot of different ways. So in a literal sense, I was definitely doing a lot of cleaning. I was getting rid of a lot of things. I was donating things. I was selling things, just releasing things that were just taking up unnecessary space in my home. And for me, like cleaning and organizing things has always affected my energy. And even to the point where, let's say I have an obstacle that I'm going through, and if I just do something like, say, clean out a closet, energetically, I know that I have released some resistance to whatever obstacle. And it could be an obstacle that has nothing to do with at home. But it's just something about that energy. It helps open up in other areas to assist me. And so, I got rid of some pretty large items. One of them was actually a massage table because I am a Reiki practitioner. And at the time when I bought the table, I thought that I wanted to be a traveling Reiki practitioner. And I quickly realized, with having small New York City apartments and having to lug that thing around, it just wasn't my ministry. I was going to have to figure something else out. And the space that I was going to rent, it just needs to already have a Reiki, or not a Reiki, like a massage table there already. And there are definitely spaces here in the city that you can rent that already have a table and a whole setup. So for me, it was just literally dead weight, stagnant energy that I wasn't doing anything with, but there was like an attachment to it because it was like I spent all this money on it, I should use it. But I had to come to terms with it and just say, yeah, you spent all this money on it, you should use it, but you don't. And it's been sitting in your living room like an eyesore, taking up unnecessary space and creating disharmony in the space for, a couple years now. Let that shit go. Let it go. At this point, I was just like, if you need another one, then you'll just have to get another one at another time. But you really don't even have the space for it. And energetically, that is sending a message to you as well. You don't need this right now. Let it go. So I did, and I got rid of some other things as well. And it definitely opened up. Another thing that happened is last week, while in Sacred Space, Gateway, I got my Akashic Records read. And this is not the first time that I've had an Akashic Records reading. I have connected with a reader now that I really, really enjoy. And I think this is my third reading with her. And one of the things that came up in the reading, it was saying how it's not that I hold grudges, but there are people in my past, like throughout my life, that have hurt my feelings that I never expressed my feelings. And instead of like taking a piece of them with me, I left a part of me with them. And so what happened is you accumulate all these different situations and experiences over time where you were hurt, and I left a part, like some of my keys, it was referred to with these people. I have a lot of keys I need back. And it represented in a way of like taking my power back. So I was given some homework at the end of this reading that I had to do energy work to go back to these different either time periods, seasons of my life, or specific experiences if I remember them. And I had to go back and get my keys back. And so what that looked like for me was utilizing the Akashic Records, because I do know how to open my own Akashic Records, but I still do like to get readings done. So for me, since last week, I have been going back into my Akashic records into different time periods of my life and getting my keys back. And for me, how I've been getting my keys back, at first I was just like, I am, you know, just kind of making an affirmative statement, from birth to elementary years, I am retrieving any keys that I left with anybody. And I kept it more general for certain, like, younger time periods, because I may not exactly remember every single experience where I feel like I was hurt and I didn't feel safe to express myself. So, but as I started getting to times that I remember more, then I started going back to specific experiences that I know and remember were hurtful, and I never shared how I felt. So once I got to about college, so I'm up to college now, college times, that's when I started going back to specific experiences and saying, so here's the thing, saying what I felt, but saying it actually from like the wisdom and the foresight that I have now, and expressing myself how I wanted to back then and just didn't have the words or the wisdom like I do now. So it's like I was expressing how I felt back then, but expressing it from the wisdom and experience that I have now. And it was very, very freeing. I went back to specific experiences with specific people where I was very hurt. And I went back and I expressed it how I would have wanted to express it now. And part of the thing I think that felt good for me, because my thing with sharing how I feel with other people, it comes from a place of control. I can't control. And it's like, I know this, and I tell other people this all the time, is that you can't control how anybody else responds to how you feel and what you're going to say. Because if you care about these people, you want them to be around. So when I was doing, when I was retrieving my keys, what I was doing, I would express myself, and I would express myself eloquently and calmly. And one of the things that I like that I did is that I owned up to my part that I feel like I was responsible for, but I still shared how I felt, whether it made sense to that person or not. I said, now I know there are things I could have done differently in this situation, but this is how I felt. X, Y, and Z. And when I would do that, then I would kind of like, have some summary conclusion to wrap it up. And I would be like, I need to go now and process my thoughts and collect my feelings. And I would leave. and then I would yank my key. And at first I was like, oh, that's so mean to yank the key. And Spirit was like, you ain't, get your key back, girl. You can snatch that key out of their hand if you want. It's yours. And so after a while of going through these different experiences in college, I would say my piece. I would say how I feel. Like I said, I would take responsibility for my part, but I would share how I felt. And I made it so that I didn't tell the person, you made me feel like this, but I just said, I felt like X, Y, and Z. I didn't feel supported. I didn't feel like this, da 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 da. I really made it about me. And then, when I was done with my soliloquy, I would snatch the key and I would walk out, and I felt lighter. And it was like with each key I got, I could just feel like another part of me lighting up inside. And what I started to realize is that people that want to be with you will find a way to be in your life. And I'm not even talking about romantically. I just mean people that want to be in your life, people that care about you, that love you. They want to know how you feel, and they want to be in your life. But you have to stay true to yourself. And you have to trust that your tribe is your tribe, and they're going to be down for you, but they want to know how you're feeling. So I started to get more and more comfortable in these situations, going back in time and telling them how I felt, and the experience going back, I don't know like what they said afterwards, because honestly it didn't matter. It wasn't not about them. It was never about them. It has always been about me. And it just felt so freeing to just share how I felt and keep it pushing, and just know like I had to get it out. Like, just express yourself. So this one was really, really, really powerful. The other ones were too, because I had some keys to retrieve from family members as well. Those ones were probably more emotional, definitely more crying with those, because it's your family and it hits a little bit different, especially depending on how you feel about these family members. But that also felt freeing. But this session, working with my Akashic records in my college times, there is something very special about when I just went back and retrieved my keys from those situations. I feel so much better. I feel like I am in control of if I feel safe expressing what I feel. I feel safe how I choose to express how I feel. And one situation, I actually did like get upset and I cried. And at first I was going to stop crying. And I remember hearing myself tell myself as I'm doing this exercise, if you need to cry, you cry, but you need to get out what you need to get out, and you need to say it. And so I cried. I cried and I said, I feel like this. I feel like that. This hurts me. This is why. And I don't agree with this. I remember. And I was proud of myself, because I was like, fuck it. If I need to cry, then fucking cry. Stop holding back. That's what I'm learning for myself at 38 years old. But listen, I'm here because I realize some people never learn this and they carry it into the next lifetime. And there are just certain karmic lessons I don't want to carry into the next lifetime anymore. I want to learn them here. I want to learn them now. And I want to heal from them now. We can carry some other ones, but there are certain things that I'm like, it ends here. So that was really, really freeing. So that was college. So now we have, my young adult life after college for my next session. And these are sessions I'm doing myself. I'm not doing these with a healer or anything like that. But if I felt like I did need assistance from a healer, I would. And perhaps when I get now to more recent times, I may enlist the help of a healer. But I'm just really, really thankful. I'm really thankful for my journey, my life. I'm thankful for all the lessons that I have learned and all the things that I've experienced. And I'm thankful that I am aware of the Akashic records now, and that I know that I can go back. I can go back and not quote unquote fix things, but I can go back and heal from the things that hurt me. I think that's the most empowering thing, that you realize is that we can heal and we can grow. We don't have to hold on to things forever. We can release them, and we should. And it's not our identity, the things that we've been through. We are who we are. We are not our pain. We are not what happened to us. We are simply us. Let that shit go. So I feel really good. That was really pivotal, because those experiences in college definitely, I think, affected how I have conducted myself as an adult post-education, post-college. And it was freeing to just say it. And I realized you don't have to be nasty when you're sharing your feelings. If you need to close your eyes and put your hand over your heart, if whatever you need to do to help you express yourself, do it. If you need to cry while you're talking, do it. And if people try to say, no, don't try to stop me. I need to cry, and I'm gonna still get this out. Because it's important for me to express how I'm feeling. If they truly care about you, they may not agree with everything that you felt from a situation or an experience, but they will hear you. And they will do their best to respect your feelings or whatever going forward. Now, you do have to own up to your part because we are responsible for our feelings. We choose to feel how we feel. And I know some people don't always agree with that, but we choose how we feel. So we do have to have some responsibility in that. But it also is our responsibility to share how we feel and to not let those feelings fester, because it manifests itself in all kind of different ways throughout our life if we don't get it out. And we can get it out in a way that is just true. It doesn't have to be confrontational, but I think it's also okay to be angry and to be mad. In one of the experiences I went back to, I definitely was mad. And I was like, you know what? I'm angry right now. I may not look it, I may not sound it, but I'm really angry and frustrated right now. And I feel like X, Y, and Z. And I do need to process those feelings, but this is how I'm feeling right now. And this is why I feel that way. And I allow myself to be angry. And that's not something I normally allow myself to do either. But we have to let those feelings out. I can't say it enough. You cannot hold it in. It doesn't make it go away. If you ignore it, it's still there. And when you least expect it, it is going to bubble back up to the surface. And it's going to hurt all over again. So you can either keep letting it rise to the surface and hurt more than once, or you can just say, you know what, we're going to let you out because it don't feel good, and you're just going to keep hanging out here until I do. But I have rambled enough, so this is part of my sacred healing, honestly. There are other parts of sacred healing, so perhaps I'll come back and do another video before this gateway ends. But it was important for me to document this and share this. So for a lot of us, a big part of our sacred healing is sharing how we're feeling and really being open and expressing ourselves. We can't control how the other person receives it. And it's more so for us than it is for the other person. But also making sure that you are taking personal responsibility in your sharing as well, too. You need both. You heal with both. That is it. Until the next check-in, stay fly and stay flourishing.